Okay, new makeup hot takes with a fussy Sadie and a hungry Hannah. Please welcome to the stage, Sadie. Oh my gosh, it's been a long time since Sadie was on the channel and she's already purring. Hey y'all, hi. It's time for another episode of New Makeup Hot Takes. Boy, is it ever time. I was like, didn't I just do one of these? And then I checked and it was, no, it's been 3 weeks. So it's actually like quite a lot of time has passed. Then I looked on Trend Mood and the makeup market is kind of poppin'. There are like a lot of things that I want to discuss. However, I'm still in the mode of not wanting to buy very much. If anything, I'm still in the resist mode, even more than usual. And if this is your first time watching one of my videos or one of my hot takes videos, what you need to know is that I do love beauty passionately, and this is a beauty channel, and I do sometimes review some new makeup, but I don't want to overspend and I don't want to promote overspending. So when I'm assessing what's new to the market, I'm usually looking for a reason not to buy stuff. And today, I mean, some of these things might pose a bit of a challenge. Some of them did kind of get my goat as I was going through. My filming session is also run late today and I'm hungry. So I'm trying to hit them hard and fast. Does anyone remember the time that I did new makeup hot takes and I gave every hot take in 10 words or fewer? We're not quite gonna go that far today. I'll give you a little more than 10 words on each new release, but I'm gonna try to get right to the nub of the matter on every single one. There's so many of them, it's probably all I can afford to do. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. All right, I'm over here so that we can put the pictures of what I'm discussing right here and we'll all be on the same page. I'm going in reverse chronological order as I like to do. First up, a very recent announcement. Liquid matte blushes from Charlotte Tilbury in the Pillow Talk Wand format. They have a long wear formula. Once it dries, it won't move, which is the thing, one of the things that I love about the highlight formula in this format. Here are my very hot takes, thick and fast. Hot take number 1, why did it take them this long? Like, why did this take so long? Back in the day when I was passionate about the Beauty Spotlight wand, which was way before it was popular on TikTok. I feel like it was before TikTok even existed. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. And then I used it up and I moved on. And then suddenly, like 2 years later, it was TikTok famous. And I was like, but it's old news. Anyway, way back then, all I wanted was a blush in this same format. And I feel like I said that a number of times. And yet, it's taken until now. Charlotte Tilbury, slow on the uptake. Hot take number 2, I want to try this. I want to try the lightest shade, Pink Pop. Especially as a reviewer, this is a very compelling release because the highlight thing is so popular and it just seems like the kind of thing people are going to want to know about. It would be a smart choice for me, for my channel, to review this, which is something I'm going to have to do some thinking about. But what I'll do is I'll give you the reasons that I would use to stay my hand as a consumer if reviewing didn't even enter into it. And those reasons are these. 1, I have a couple of liquid blushes that do what this does. For example, the Chantecaille Gelée Cheek Pop in the shade Happy looks exactly like Pink Pop in this formula, and I have like an almost full tube of it, and I've been wearing it all the time, and I really love it. So in a sense, if I were to just go out and buy this as a consumer, not in a sense, take away the qualifying phrase. If I were to go out and buy this as a consumer, just because I wanted it, I would 100% just be duping my existing collection. I would just be buying something that I already have. That is also true if you have the Glossier Cloud Paints. This is like promising to do basically exactly what they do. Basically, it's just another liquid blush and we have a lot of them and a lot of us already have 1 or 2 that we really like. I think it's hard to see that through the haze, the literal haze of the marketing. It's like very hazy photography of the marketing. But what I meant was it's hard to see that through the haze of hype around the highlight version of this product. Really, at the end of the day, it's just another liquid blush. And that's my hot take. Likely just another liquid blush. Moving on, something about this Bobbi Brown powder blush release just is stirring me up. It's a 3-in-1 blush palette with a sparkling shimmer finish and 3 blush colors that provide a natural and sophisticated luster like pearls in one palette. While making the skin look brighter, it has a glossy finish that shines. So that already is like singing my song, right? I'm really here for that. But it's also just, it's like the Rothko looking pans. It's the way that the different different shades are pressed together into one pan. It's not like we've never seen anything like this before, right? It's like Victoria Beckham eyeshadows. I'm sure there have been blushes like this. Even the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek Pop blushes, the ones that look like a nipple, it's this, but just round. So it's not novel, but something about this picture, like the way this has been photographed, the two lighter shades and more neutral shades on the top, like one of them looks very pale pink, one of them looks very pale, like sort of a neutral leaning beige, and the stripes are beige. I just want it with that like makeup gremlin part of my brain. The rational part of my brain is like, Hannah, you only have 1 or 2 powder blushes. They're perfect. Probably the blush here, like if I were to get the bronze one or the pink one, probably it would look exactly, given the description, it would probably look exactly like Pat McGrath Flirtatious or the Gucci bronzed rose blush or whatever. It would probably look exactly like that on my cheeks. Like I would probably be exactly duping my collection. Again, it really doesn't make rational sense for me as a consumer to acquire another powder blush and for it to be one of these. But they're really, really getting me with the artistic styling of the pan and the description of the product. It's the kind of thing that I would watch a review of, you know what I mean? Like I'm kind of curious about how it's gonna go over. And it's also kind of interesting to see the Bobbi Brown brand really lighting up my screen like this because, you know, they do things from time to time and some of them, like the crushed lip color, I loved that product. I mean, I was like really deep in with that product for a while. And there are other things that I know have been legendary from the Bobbi Brown brand, but I feel like it's been a while since I saw something and I was like, oh my gosh, I lust, I long for. Like they really hit the nail on the head. They really know what we're wanting right now. I didn't know that it was this. Like I didn't know it was these like shimmery, sparkly, lustrous like pearls, powder blush palettes pressed into pans, all colors together. I didn't know that, but now that I'm seeing it, I feel like it's what I want, it's what you want, it's what we all want, and they somehow knew that before we did. But the thing that keeps me strong is that I don't want to dupe myself. You know, like if I do end up buying one of these, it will be because I waited a really long time, saw lots of positive reviews, and also got the chance to swatch them in store and confirm that there's something unique about the shade for me and that will really truly provide something they don't already have. But that might not be the case. Only time will tell. And I don't need to make a purchase in advance of getting that knowledge. Okay, Fenty Sprots stuff. Fenty always makes me want to buy it, but I'm not that into the Sprots, so it's an easy pass for me. I think that some existing things have been rebranded as football things, but this is a new launch, a liquid lipstick. And this is a thing I'm seeing. It'll come up again in this video. Liquid lipsticks. Brands are like out here thinking it is not yet too soon for a resurgence in the dry down, long wear liquid lipstick trend. I disagree, brands. I feel like it is too soon. I am having a sort of Angie moment. I'm like, who asked for this? Who asked for a long wear liquid lipstick this spring? Like not me, not anyone. We will see how it goes for the Fenty Icon Velvet liquid lipsticks and the other liquid lipsticks that I'm seeing launch. Ugh, Tom Ford makeup for the face, base makeup. Here's why I included this. When I was at Kaki's house, I don't think I put it on my face. I swatched on the back of my hand the Tom Ford foundation stick that's in this exact format, and it was just so nice. You know, I love a cream, like a balm foundation. And that's what a stick foundation basically is. Stick foundation, balm foundation, cream in a pot foundation. Like they're all kind of doing the same thing. It's not the same as a liquidy liquid that dries down and sort of changes its constitution on your face. You just taking something that is creamy but is in a stick and rubbing it around on your face, but it sort of like stays the same consistency. And for me, I think that that often works really well. Like that's the kind of product, it's a way to package a base product that I really like. So I swatched this Tom Ford foundation on my hands and I was like, it's so beautiful. It feels like it would be so lovely to wear. And Kaki was like, it is so lovely to wear. But then I was like, wait, is this the lightest shade? And she was like, yeah. And it was too dark for me. Definitely would not have worked for me. I don't exactly fear because I'm not like chomping at the bit to go out and spend $100 on a Tom Ford foundation and another probably like 60 or 80 on a concealer. So it's not as though I fear that it will be the same with this. If they had a shade that was like a very pale desaturated neutral olive, looked exactly perfect for me, I might be compelled to review this. But as it's clear, I think that they're not going to have such a shade. It's an easy pass for me. Oh, I decided to speak on the LYS Beauty lip release release that's coming up. It looks like they're releasing a Speak Love Moisture Matte Lipstick and Speak Love Lip Liner Pencil. I decided to put it in this video because it looks like one of the lipsticks might be a Gone Greige dupe. I'll show you the swatches, these triangular swatches on the arms. The third one down is called Moody. Doesn't that look quite a lot like Gone Greige? Maybe not exactly, but like pretty close. Closer than a lot of things. I will be keeping an eye on this. And the lip pencils, I love those grungy colors of the lip pencils. I'm not very familiar with LYS Beauty, but I've heard a lot of good things about them. Ordinarily, with a brand of interest, even a brand that I love, releasing new cream lipsticks and lip pencils, again, it's something that I'm not gonna run out and buy it just because I need to try the formula or just because it's new. You know what I mean? So even if I were familiar with this brand and I was like really excited about this lipstick launch, I have so many lipsticks and I just whittled down my collection. And even with the whittled down collection, I haven't managed to wear, for example, all of my lipsticks in January. Like I have some lipsticks that I kept in my declutter at the end of December and I still haven't worn them in January. When I put it that way, I'm like, no way, no how do I need to buy a lipstick from LYS Beauty, even if it looks like a dupe for Gone Greige, you know? So that helps me cool my jets a little bit. But what I'll want to do is to one day swatch this in store and just see how close to Gone Greige it really comes, because you know, that is a question in which I have a bit of an interest. Another release that intrigues me, but that I find a way to not want, it is the DANESSA MYRICKS Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Flushed. So a blush version of the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder, which is a product that a lot of you wanted me to review, and I think I wanted to, and then it was all sold out or something. I somehow missed the boat on reviewing the foundation version of this. Pardon me, I had a drink of water and now I need to reapply. It's the Typology Lip Oil in Plum Purple. So it's a matte blurring balm powder. It's something that's kind of like an unusual hybrid type of thing. Very intriguing. I think this is a great idea, a great release from DANESSA MYRICKS, like a really good direction in which to take things. However, for me personally, there isn't a color that jumps right out as being the kind of color that I relish. I think that the lightest one, Rose and Brunch, would work, like the undertones would work for me, but these are really, at the end of the day, 6 rich, deep, beautiful, saturated shades, which is perfect, right? This is great. They're all great, and I'm glad to see them, and I'm glad that they are the way that they are. But the fact that there isn't one of them that's like quite pale, desaturated, something that looks like it would blend naturally into my cheeks, but rather 6 shades that look like they would really pop on me, that makes it easier for me to back away and just maintain a healthy intellectual curiosity about the formula and hope to get that information from other people's reviews rather than finding out on my own. Okay, Natasha Denona, this palette, this Valentine's Day palette, the Love Face palette, I'm having such an interesting reaction to this. The reaction is, I want it to look different so that I'll want it. Like, I want to want it. I want to review it. I feel like my channel's at a place now where it would make sense for me to review a thing like this, right? Like if I just went out and spent some of my budget straight up on the Natasha Denona Valentine's Day palette and I were like, I'm gonna review this, like dedicated video review. If I did that, that would make sense. Like that's a video that people would watch. It would be a good use of my channel's budget in terms of like keeping the channel chugging. It would be pleasurable for me because I have feelings about Natasha Denona. Like I have this sort of emotional history with the brand. I love the eyeshadows. I've had some really serious long-term relationships with some of her palettes. I'm also familiar with those eyeshadow formulas, so I could tell you if the eyeshadows in this are like the same as in the gold palette or different. So all the stars are aligning for me to review this palette in February, but I don't like these pinks. I would just, if I got it and I reviewed it, I would just look like a pink poppet with a gold stripe on my cheek. It's just not anywhere close to being for me, and so it just doesn't make sense for me to put this on my list of things that I'm going to review. And it's certainly not on the list of things that I would like relish owning for myself. I can just tell you in the best case, like the best case scenario, if I decided to review this would be me saying the formulas are beautiful, it performs beautifully, the packaging's amazing, it feels like a really special thing, but I'm not gonna keep it because the colors don't work for me. I'm gonna give it away to someone. I don't even have to buy it to tell you. It's either that or there's something wrong with the formulas. You will find out from other people's reviews. I just wish she would do something grungy. I know I say this about all the brands, but I really wish it about Natasha Denona. I wish she would do some grungy face. Doesn't she always do this? Doesn't she always put like a really bright pink blush in these palettes. Can we not have something dusky, Natasha? The dusk palette. Can we not have the dusk palette? Oh, here's something that I'm really excited about and that I am hoping to review. KOSAS sends me a lot of their new launches. I'm not totally sure, but I will not be surprised if I get the chance to review this as PR. The Glow IV Vitamin Infused Skin Illuminating Enhancer from KOSAS. The question that I have about this is how pigmented is it going to be? Is it going to be like the Auric Glow Lust? It looks like it in the swatch. In the swatches, they look pigmented. They look photoshopped. They look fake. But it looks like that cross between an illuminator and a foundation that I love so much in Auric Glow Lust. It's for sure the KOSAS version of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Floss Filter, but that also has a decent amount of pigment in it. And you know, there's a shade range. So the big question to me about this is how sheer is she? Like how wet and glossy and spread out is it going to be? How thick is it going to be? What's the texture going to be? I will really follow its career with some interest if I don't get the chance to review it myself. I think it's a fantastic launch from KOSAS. Like a really, really good idea for them to launch a thing like this. Oh, what about this? Dry shampoo for your lashes. That is how MAC is billing this mascara. Lash Dry Shampoo Mascara Refresher. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Lash Dry Shampoo Mascara Refresher. So they're saying you put it on top of your mascara. This is the first thing I have ever wanted to try from MAC. It seems like gimmicky, but also not. Maybe not gimmicky. I weirdly love the idea of a dry shampoo for the lashes. And it deeply intrigues me that no one's ever thought of this before. Like when you see a thing like this in beauty that makes total sense instantly and that no one's ever thought of before, it's like, wow, someone deserves a bonus over there. I wonder if it's just sort of a soft, raspy, dry-ish mascara that is just ideal for building on top of other mascaras. Like, you know those mascaras that maybe don't perform super well on their own, but they're so fibrous and dry that when you put them on top of other mascaras, they like go the distance? That must be what this is. And I like that. I like that idea. I'm very curious about this, but at the same time, if I just don't act on my curiosity, I'll probably forget about it in like 2 seconds. Because I feel like you can just use another mascara as a dry shampoo mascara. You can just use your same mascara and just add more if your mascara needs to pick me up midday, you know? It doesn't need to be a separate product. It's totally excessive and absurd. You can just add more mascara on top of the mascara you're already wearing. It's just the fact that they're marketing it this way, the branding, it fascinates me and I can't wait to see how it goes for them. And then here are the other liquid lipsticks, right? So along with this dry shampoo for the lashes, they're launching Locked Kiss Ink Lipstick, a kiss-proof, transfer-proof, and waterproof liquid lipstick with 24 hours of weightless wear. Why, MAC? Why? Like, what was there some market research showing that we're nostalgic for those crusty lips days? Does anyone understand why this is happening? Please illuminate this issue for me, this resurgence of the liquid lip. On the total other end of the spectrum, RMS Beauty, which is a brand in which I have an increased interest because the lightest shade of the foundation in their foundation range is a very pale, desaturated, olive gray leaning color, like neutral. And it's a perfect match for me and it's really exciting. And so I just am sitting up and taking a little bit more notice of RMS since then. Previous to that, I kind of tended to ignore the brand because there's coconut oil in everything, but there's not coconut oil in the new foundation. They're branching out. So this looks like the exact kind of thing I do like. Liplights. One of the comments says it feels like a lip balm, but it has a nice amount of pigment. You can wear it alone or over a lipstick. So it's like a balmy gloss or a liquid balm. That's the exact kind of thing I'm into. The other thing is the colors. There's like a really pale pink. There's one that looks like a pale chocolate brown. I love that. The thing that will keep me from longing for this is the format. That squeeze tube where you have to use your finger. I just feel like it doesn't have to be that way. You could at least have an applicator you can apply it onto your lips or a wand or something. It's just one step of messiness. Too far, and all things being equal, I feel like it's a better choice to choose a slightly different format for packaging. So I can live without this, especially because I have some liquid balms. Like that's what I've been loving and wearing, and that's why I know that I would like this formula. I'll keep an eye on it, but I'm not gonna rush out and buy it. And lastly, some beauty news. NATASHA Denona and Dior makeup launching in Ulta. You know, I have to say, I wouldn't have been able to tell you off the top of my head whether or not Dior makeup was in Ulta. I know they already carry some extremely high-end, like some luxury brands like Lancôme. I feel like I've seen Lancôme makeup in Ulta, but I don't know actually if they have like Chanel makeup or anything like that. I don't think so. Yeah, I feel like Dior and Natasha Denona both feel very high-end for Ulta, even though they do have already a lot of high-end brands, and there's like the prestige half of Ulta. So it's not as though it doesn't fit. It sort of reveals that Ulta is really going for an expansion of the luxury makeup offerings. And it's interesting. I tend to go to Ulta, I tend to think of Ulta as the place to go for a vast variety of drugstore makeup. Like, they, to me, are a resource for drugstore makeup. And then there are these handful of prestige brands that will kind of like pop up. I mean, I don't know. There's part of me that just like really doesn't care what Ulta does or Sephora does. Like I always take note, like when a new brand goes into Ulta or Sephora or something, but whatever. It's like things will happen, brands will come and go. But there is a little something about Natasha Denona and Dior, the very caliber, like the hard-hitting nature of those two brands, that makes me feel like it changes the character of Ulta just a little bit. Like, together, those two brands, with their powers combined, they managed to move the dial just a tiny bit on the character of Ulta. Do you agree? That's how I'm feeling in this moment. And that's it. We made it. I'm gonna go do something about dinner. I'm gonna go see a man about some Thai food. And that man is my husband, Joe. I appreciate you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you enjoyed all of my hot takes. I'm curious to read your hot takes in the comment section down below. I hope that you'll subscribe if you are not yet subscribed to my channel. And I really hope that you are remembering to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.